So, basically, what I want to talk about in this podcast is get together with some friends and talk about D&D and why they've chosen certain things about their characters and all that sort of thing, and get to know them a little bit more. Our first guest today is my current DM, Mr. Mark Goddard. Welcome.
Thanks for having me. Current DM.
Current, yeah. Well, it's the truth. It's the truth. We tell no lies here. We tell no lies. I'll just roll with it.
So how long have we played for? Like a year and a half?
I think it's something like that. When did we? Well, no, actually, because I joined end of September, October time, I think.
So more than a year. Well, a year-ish.
About a year, yeah.
But yeah, coming to a close. We're level 18 now. So, well, you're level 18.
Yeah, we're level 18 now, and it's getting intense, guys. I've died once, actually. I've died once, gone unconscious, but it's getting intense now. I was very sad when I did die.
Yeah, there was a lot of emotions running high.
There were. So, basically, I want to talk to you about the characters that you've played through D&D and how that has made you potentially who you are today.
Ooh.
We're getting deep on this podcast. We're getting deep.
Okay. I have no prepared answers. This will be.
I have no prepared questions.
Wonderful.
So, it's a match. It's a match. Circle gets a square. No, circle gets a circle.
Yeah,
that's it. First question. What was the first character, the class that you played? Class and race, actually. We'll go with that.
See, this is a bit weird. As I said, going back to when I originally started playing D&D, I first got in on the must have been mid-noughties Hasbro game, which was it was like D&D in a box, but it was for people that never played it before. When I played that for a bit with my dad when I was 12, 13 years ago. It was very, very quite an old game. I got it for Christmas. And then from that, my dad was like, hey, this is cool. We should play actual D&D. And so what we did is we modified the existing characters in that game and turned them into playable classes. So the first one I properly played and properly connected
Please tell me one of them was an acrobat.
No, there was a cleric, a human cleric, a human fighter, an elven wizard, and a halfling rogue. Very stereotypes from what they were.
Yeah.
But from that, I think we ported a lot of those over, and I stuck with Regdar, the fighter.
Regdar? Okay.
He was just hit stuff the blast. That was when we were playing that was back on 3rd edition. The first character I actually rolled up that I made myself was a tiefling fighter, though, but I feel like that's where that comes from. I was like, Regdar was cool, he hit stuff with a sword. Spells are complicated, I didn't like to read them, so I could just play as Regdar, and he had my sword. He had good reflex save. No, he had good fortitude save, good reflex saves, terrible will saves, so magic always affected him. We didn't play very much 3rd edition, just a chunk of it, and then when we made the jump to 5th edition, I went for Skarnos.
Who's Skarnos?
Skarnos, he was, we're playing back on Tabletop Simulator, so I found this picture of this edgiest,
was it tiefling with a long frame?
No, it was like a suit of armour with red eyes.
Oh my god.
Angry looking sword. He didn't wear he wore chainmail. We were getting back. We were just getting used to it, but he was my first fighter. It was very fun. I feel like that's where that vein comes from. And I was like, tieflings, they sound edgy as fuck. I feel like my character's a bit edgy or not.
I was gonna say, these characters that you've told us about so far, they sound like
Regdar wasn't. I didn't know how to do anything.
I was gonna say they sound like they're characters of the time. During the time you was playing
this would have been
as Skarnos, were you going through an emo scene phase?
But this must have been when I was 16 or 17. So
it was definite emo phase.
I feel like it helped, yeah.
Okay.
But I feel like as I've played more, I've gotten better at back in the day. I said as you say, we used to play RPGs in a box sort of games. It was more we played for the tactical fun of doing it. And then as they got more, I was like, there's an RP side to this as well. So I tried to make characters a little more interesting. Skarnos, I could not tell you anything about his backstory. I don't think he had one. He was just an angry man with a sword. That was same as Regdar, actually. He had a sword. I think he was a pirate. I think I made that up. I think our DM started to push for character development, so I said he was a pirate, which made even less sense now. I think about it now.
Yeah. But how does... So what Skarnos was a tiefling, right?
Yeah. He was.
So how did you go from being an angry tiefling man to a pirate. Like,
I feel like a lot of this was done at the table, but our DM, we sort of like, first when we were just learning 5th edition, a friend of mine was like, hey, I bought these books, do you want to play it? And so we were sort of trial by firing it. And I think we hadn't really, I think you guys have done so well, you don't really develop your character until like 3 sessions, after you've played 3 sessions, and you're like, oh, this is funny, this is stuck. This is funny. Like, our adventure started with us literally waking up on a pirate ship, and it was like our DM's way of saying, you've got nothing, you are prisoners on a pirate ship, how do you get out? And so a lot of our adventure was fighting this pirate ship, and eventually we won the pirate ship. And after about 3 sessions, I was like, Scarlett's pretty good at shouting at people and jumping on stuff. That's where I'm going to go with this character. Well, you guys did the same.
Yeah, well, I most certainly did. I didn't even have a name when I got to the table.
So you made up Sebastian.
So I
can't see how that.
Yeah, my first and still running character, Sebastian Ondaria. I'll tell you what.
Triton Bard.
Yeah, Triton Bard. I'll tell you why it's called Ondaria as well. Ondaria is a type of edible seaweed. So it all fits. It comes together. Yeah, I was literally sat down with you guys, had rolled everything, made sure it was all there, and I was like, oh shit, because you were just like, what you called? I went, I have no fucking clue. Shit. Names. Water names. Sebastian.
Little Mermaid.
That's fine. And so it's been Sebastian ever since.
And you made up the last name after you looked up a type of edible seed.
Yes, it was.
Did you just know that?
Yeah. Well, I mean, colouring skills, we're okay, but we're not that good.
But yeah, I think a lot of the party did that, because when you guys started playing, like, we're running Horde of the Dragon Queen, we were running that at the time, the adventure.
Yeah.
And I feel like a lot of you guys, it was your first time playing, so I know, like I said, like, our barbarian sent me a 10-page expose of backstory about level 5. I think you guys have read it.
Oh god, 10 pages about Mogart. No,
I read it. I read it, and then
no.
I read it, and the fun thing was reading that and then extrapolating like names out of it, and then I dropped them. I look at him, and he just blanked me, and then he'd be like, "Wait a second, I know that." And when we were in his home camp, I was like, "Oh, you see this? You see that?" And he was like, "You read my backstory?" It was a really, really fun moment.
Yeah, I think it's been like the whole like character creation bit with the rest of the group as well. You kind of get to see like who they are as much as who the characters are as well. Does that make sense?
Yeah,
like
play style. I guess.
Yeah, you like play styles, and then like what sort of character traits they go for, and sort of races and classes as well. They kind of get. I mean,
I think
especially.
I think it's very interesting seeing what people pick as their starting races, because I always sort of say that I think a lot of people's first character is sort of their idea. Like when you play an RPG, like Skyrim or something, whatever archetype you try to go for, it's usually all like they'll try and put themselves in the game, or like a fantasy version of themselves. And like race, like the race, I think the race speaks a lot about it as well. Like I can say in all my D&D time, I've never played a dwarf. My friend Steve, literally first character rolled a dwarven paladin. And I was like, that's cool, but you can sort of delve a little bit about people. Like I've never played an elf either, actually. Think of it. So I have. I played one Pathfinder.
So what? Because obviously my first character was a Triton. What would you say that suggests about someone?
Very out the box, because I didn't know what Tritons were.
Me neither.
I'm not sure even how you found it out. I was just like, here is a list of races, pick one, and you were like, what's this fish one?
I don't know.
It was just when it came out as well, so I was like, I have no idea what that is.
Yeah, I think we all kind of sat around that table with, okay, let's go this way with things and see how far that takes us and hope for the best.
Yeah, and then now everyone's their own thing.
Yeah, you kind of, I mean, it was like that post that you showed me the other day on Instagram where it's like that first level, and it's like, I am this character, this is my funny, quirky thing I do, and blah, 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 and it goes in depth like that, and then you get to, say, where we are now, level 18, and you're like, the character is almost completely different.
Like evolved,
the character has evolved, and it's really cool to see.
Yeah,
it is. I assume from your side of this, from your side of the screen, you've seen it go all the way through. So
yeah, it happens gradually as well. It's hard to sort of track, but I do sort of see when we first started to. I think like some people have got more careful, some have got more reckless. I remember a lot of people going down levels 1 to 3, and sort of like I remember like having loads of close scrapes. I think at level 1, like 2 people went down like the second session. It was oh god, and then like but it was like everyone sort of had funny gimmicks and stuff, and then eventually it was like now I can learn how to put these skills into practice. And there's a lot of I think there's a learning curve, but also a character development curve as well.
Yeah,
it's come from. But yeah, it's really fun. Like certain characters like have bonds for each other. I remember because I was talking and I was talking about like I think one character came very close to dying in a session like ages ago, and we were like level 10 or 11. Our warlock nearly went down and died, and then I remember I was like, the party are going to have to retreat if they can't get him. And I remember Steve saying after the session, he was like, if you had killed him or he had gone down, I would have run in there and died as well. And that's just the idea of I was like, he literally like because they've got this sort of camaraderie. His character, Paladin, wouldn't just let someone die. I think it was a very close call. You had a lot of close calls. I think it was when you were fighting the ice dragon. But it was very tense.
Oh, I don't think I was there for that one, was I? I wasn't.
Might not have been.
No, because I'd have been able to potentially heal him. But
that's probably why.
But yeah, I will say, after playing for a year with this group, it's like I've known everyone for millennia. It's very odd what D&D does with a friendship group. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think I've said before. I think the best groups that play D&D are as well groups of friends who play games regularly on the side as well. Just because, like, before we started playing D&D, I played game. You know, we'd have like game nights and stuff. And I'd played probably a year with most people, and so I know roughly what they're looking for in an adventure. Like I know. I've always said before. I've said to other people. I've sort of tagged players what I think they are. Like Reese. Reese is I think barbarian, likes combat, things like that. Well, I know other people, like, I think yourself, like you prefer like social interaction. So it's nice to sprinkle a bit of everything in. Yeah. I think because the group's quite mixed, it's easy. Like if you were just a party that just wanted to run dungeons and hack and slash, I could probably cater for that. But I like putting a spread of everything across.
Oh yeah,
and a bit of that might have just me been saying, "This is what I'm. This is the adventure I'm running." But I think some groups you need to sit down and have that conversation with your DM and just say, I was expecting, more of a cool, like I picked this cool fighter class, but we're just talking all the time. Or, it's about finding, it's always hard to play with like Roll20 because you don't really know what you're signing up for.
Yeah, it's a definite, yeah.
Also, I think getting to know the characters helps as well. Like if they know your character really likes a social interaction chapter, like people are more inclined to play along with it. Like in our campaign a few levels ago, we had the party went to a vampire's castle to essentially negotiate for her help. And well, I mean, you can explain it if you want, but it was.
Wait, is this as in out?
Yeah, in your campaign, yeah.
We went to a vampire's castle. Wait, hold up. When did we go here?
You were there. You went to Faye.
Oh yeah.
You went literally into a vampire's castle.
Yeah. Sorry, I got confused then. But yeah. Oh yeah, that was fun. My character, even though my character is, I think, out of everyone, the most charismatic, I think.
Oh yeah, have you met our party?
Yeah, good point.
You're the face.
Yeah. So it would have been in our party's best interest for myself, or I think for Derba, our dwarven paladin, Steve's character, to do the talking, or even Al, to be honest. Al's not there.
Embarrassed.
Yeah. And I, out of game, had literally forgotten all of the things that we had to do in that place. So I'm the most charismatic in our party, but having no fucking clue out of game what I need to be saying to these people or how I address them, because I've forgotten names, like order of service when you're talking to people, all of that. So I think you directly asked me a question as this character is like, have you got anything to add? And me just outright, no, nothing.
And to preface this, like in a lot of meetings and like in the RP sessions beforehand, they'd known that they were going to this land. They're going to this land where vampires and necromancy ruled. It was a dark place. They had a certain code of conduct that you have to adhere to, and if they'd have to adhere to it. So it was like speaking to people by their title, not using first names. Gestures and things like that, and threw the party in, and from behind the screen I knew it was just a completely conversational chapter there to try and negotiate help if they could do it. There might have been combat if it went sour, but that was about it. But the party were just like, they've killed dragons and they've killed monsters, and this was their biggest challenge, a social interaction.
It was literally. I think because it was such a curveball in comparison to what we've already previously done. It completely threw me for a blindside. I was like, I should be nailing this, but I have no fucking clue what I need to be saying or to who, and I don't want to fuck this up for the party because that could potentially be an ally that we lose, or an ally that we don't have for future things. And yeah, it's great fun.
I think that's what I enjoy as well, to tailor back into DMing as well, because I'll often, when I plan an adventure, I'm like, this is where I think it's going to go. Like, the party are going to go here, they're going to go to the dungeon, they're going to fight the dragon, they're going to get the treasure. But my favourite sessions are the ones where that doesn't happen. Like, somewhere there's a disjointment along the way. Like, you go, to pull another example up, you get to the dragon's lair undetected, you're safe. You then walk into the dragon's lair, talk your way past the guards. This has happened, by the way. You talk your way past the guards. He then decides to swim in the moat, find the secret tunnel in the moat that connects to the dragon's chamber, run in, alert the dragon, and then just run away, alerting the dragon and the entire lair to their presence.
I forgot that. That was my fault, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was exclusively.
It was.
And so it turned into this fight where they got into the dungeon, they'd tipped over, everyone, they hadn't killed any of the guards, they just sent them away. And then because this dragon rocked up, all the guards then came out, and it turned from just this straightforward dungeon delve where they could sneak in and maybe try and find out what was going on to literally them just trying to run away. And
to not only just running away, losing 3 or 4, potentially, I think 4 dragon slaying arrows, because I now only have 1 left in my bag.
Yeah, and half the battle was trying to run away and half was trying to fight it, and neither really worked.
Because this dragon that we faced in this dragon's lair, which was the worst place to be fighting that fucking thing. Yeah, a green dragon in its lair. It was horrendous. It went invisible, so we're trying to firstly find the pissing thing, and then secondly trying to hit it after that. And it went south.
Yeah. I remember people, I think there was a breath attack at one point it let off, and I measured the cone, and I'm pretty sure that the way it went, it just missed the warlock by 1 square. And I remember I rolled the damage, and I remember rolling it and saying it out, and he literally looked at me and was like, yeah, if that had hit me, I would have been dead. Like, it would have knocked him to 0, and the excess would have done massive damage, and he didn't have very many hit points. So, or he had not enough to survive it, and he'd be like, yeah, I'll be dead and down. But it's just that was my favourite, because I look back on it and I'm like, it's just nice to throw the plan out the window and be like, this is what's happening.
Yeah, I find when I've done one-shots and things, it's been you have everything planned. I assume this is the same for you, even with our big campaign. You sort of plan. You obviously try and plan for everything, but that's impossible.
Oh, so especially
especially with our
magic users, you just can't, or even with anyone,
and you try and plan for as much as you can, and then that usually ends up going out of the wall, out the window, out the wall.
Yeah, gone with the window.
Yeah, it's gone with the wind. And you end up just having to sort of rely on what you've done previously, and then making sure that it kind of sticks to the narrative that you want in.
Yeah, but players will do that with anything. They do it with spells, they do it with racial abilities, they do it with abilities. They'll do it with a magic item that you gave them 8 sessions ago. They just don't know anything about. There's a moment, you'll get moments where, I'll see it on you guys, where
we done that?
You'll just frantically pull your character sheets out and just scan through them. And they'll be like, I want to use this bead of force or this potion of fire giant strength. Oh yeah, I forgot I gave him that. When I planned that, I completely forgot I gave you it. It's just like, I'll use this, or like the portable hole, or something stupid like that, or something random will go off. Or one time you guys were fighting the beholder, and then our wild magic sorcerer got a surge, and then he vomited up an entire canoe.
Oh my god! Okay, guys, this was potentially this was the cornerstone moment of our group to say we can pretty much do anything now. I think
it was a tense moment as well.
So we had just beaten this beholder, and we was trying to find our way out of this. What was it? It was a
pyramid.
It's like a mind flayer.
Yeah,
pyramid thing.
Pyramid schemes.
Pyramid scheme.
No, it was like a mind flayer temple. Yeah.
And we'd got to the top of this tower, and there was literally nowhere else for us to go. So it was,
Some people were coming. Yeah, you knew.
and we were against time at this point because it was either we get out of here or we're gonna die.
And they're already banged up. One of them had been turned to stone.
Yeah,
I think. Yeah.
Yes, he had been turned to stone. And we recall in the previous room, our wild magic sorcerer vomited up this canoe. So
it's pretty difficult. Like the fight, I'm pretty sure he lost turns to it as well. Like having to just finish, just like burping it up.
So we used this canoe. Had our it was Ben's character. It was the
artificer.
Yeah. Our friend Ben came in for a couple of sessions as a artificer goblin. And we had him use enlarge on this canoe so that we could ride it down the side of this pyramid.
They also had a bunch of children in tow as well.
Oh yeah, children.
They'd rescued some surviving children that the mind flayers were going to harvest the brains of, and then decided to put all these kids in this canoe.
Yeah, because wanted Derber and someone else who went in the canoe with the children, and then me, Jarian, I think.
Someone dimension doored out.
I definitely remember Dimension Dooring out, but I can't remember who else it was. But yeah, it's moments like those that I'm like, if you tried to tell this story to anyone else, they'd be like, what the what on earth is going on? Like,
you spend every Thursday doing this?
Yeah. Like, you slide down pyramids in canoes? What? But yeah, it's alright.
Well, I like that as well. I like having, like, you can go from just this crazy, like, the drama of, you fought that beholder, like, people were getting hit by death rays. At one point, I think I caught our sorcerer of a disintegration ray. I rolled all the damage. I think he had like 3 or 4 hit points left. Just that.
Yeah, he didn't have many.
Yeah, I remember him talking to me afterwards. And Mark, I need to ask you, did you fudge that roll to let me live? And I was like, nope. I literally just happened to roll 3 less than your hit points. And I think he genuinely was like, oh my god, I'm nearly dead. And he was like, maybe he fudged the roll. He must have fudged the roll. And I was like, no, but I would have disintegrated you, like, you know, like Thanos.
Thanos and Sonic.
Yeah. But then you juxtapose that with literally beat the beholder, now we're surfing down a canoe, and it's like, cool. Like, I like ramping up the pressure, but I also like that there's that nice tension to it as well, which I think's there as well, even at late level play.
Oh yeah, like, I mean, well, with the ambush that we had recently,
yes.
That for me was in fact the most intense that it has been for me anyway, because in our campaign, I play a bard, and I suppose you could call it, sort of main function within our group is support and healing and sort of support and control of the battlefield.
And disruption,
yeah. So that's primarily what I focus on, and getting a bit of DPS out there every now and then. And in this ambush, I went to heal our party and got shut down, counterspelled, and then just critted into the floor. I have never felt like I have been aggressively countered by anything else in the game until that point, and I was like, holy shit.
I felt really bad because that entire thing was by design as well. Like, for our campaign, these people have been hunting the party.
Yeah.
I've told them about it, and they've made no real effort to hide themselves. So I put an attack against them, and even Rise of Tiamat, sort of, not really spoilers for it, it's just something I do along the side as well. It's in the book a little bit. But first attack was sort of my doom to fail attack. It was just them gathering information. The second attack, I tried to counteract them a little bit. I tried to ambush them, catch them off guard, get a surprise round in. By the third attack, I was like, well, the enemies, they know what you're about. They know who does what in the job.
Well, in fact, we've had another ambush since then, or an assassination attempt in the was it the Dragon Bridge? It's not Dragon Bridge. Where we fought
Bridge. That was the first attack. Yeah, that was with the Red Wizard and the Dragon. Right.
But it was meant. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, of course. Yeah. Because I was going to say that was also where you did the attempted like blowing us up.
Oh yeah, that's true. I tried to blow them up like a gunpowder plot. They avoided it by just not going to the tavern. I thought they'd go to get drunk.
Yeah.
which was fine. But just by this third attack, I was like, well, you're going to know. They know exactly what you're all about. They know the healer's over there. So I explicitly gave three young red dragons and 3 wizards. And the idea was the wizards were just going to use their third spell counter slots just to counterspell everything in that first round or 2 of the fight. Only one wizard tried to counterspell any given spell, but it just meant that probably 2 or 3 spells just got shut down completely, and it was just it was a very clutch heal that just got denied, which is a horrifying moment. But
it was, because I was like, shit.
And the party sort of hit this point where they were like, we need to get out of here. Like, people started going down. Like, the enemy were not getting routed quicker than they were coming in. And I think there was an assassin that did a lot of damage in the battle, and there was a gladiator that came in. It was just progressively getting worse, and it was fun though. It was interesting.
Yeah. Oh yeah, me saying it was intense and like it was incredible. It was a really cool moment to see, because it was very grounding for us. I feel like, because we've never had that before. Like, it's either been clutch when we've dealt with things, or it's been like Mogar's taken it out with like 2 swings of his fucking axe. And that was very much a case of, okay, we need to really work on what it is that we do and make sure that we can maybe not so much counteract against us. I know that sounds super backward, but we need to be able to have something prepared so that if our main focus on what we do is set out the window, we need to be able to come back and regroup and come back again. But yeah, it was.
I also think there was that element as well, looking back on it. I want to say I tried to guilt trip them a little bit as well, because they went to go speak to NPCs that were also attacked at the same time. And I described some of them like had burns all over their skin, and some of them were like barely limping, and it was like, oh god. And earlier in the campaign, I'd given them hints that they sort of knew people were hunting them. I also gave them information that there was an insider in Waterdeep City that was actively doing stuff behind the scenes, and I was trying to sort of tap into not a guilt, but made it feel that this wasn't something that I would just pull out of my hat whenever. This is something that had been coming for a long time, and it was meant to like make a low point in the adventure.
Well, we can't remember where we were picking up. We just stopped briefly. You were going to talk about another low point in our campaign after us talking about the canoe bit.
Yeah, I was going to say, you talked about the canoe point. You said that intrigued me. You said, that was the high point of the adventure. We talked about getting ambushed, and that was the point where you felt counted in the thing. I think the low point of the adventure, which is interesting where it fits in, is about. It was about level 8, I think. It was right at the end. We just finished Horde of the Dragon Queen, the first book, and I'd sort of modified the final dungeon to make it a bit more interesting.
Thinking about it now, this is the actual real low point, because it's like, oh.
I think I don't know. I think it was a combination of things, but essentially, the party had infiltrated this flying castle. They'd managed to get into the main depth of it, and on the very front of the cover, there's an ice dragon freezing someone solid, and they knew there was a dragon in there. This was the first real interaction they'd had with probably the second in the campaign. The first time they actually fought one at a level where they were appropriate to fight it. So it was a big scary fight. They didn't really know what they were going up against. Hadn't ever fought a creature with legendary actions or resistances before, so it was very new. And we lost our first character.
Yeah, we did. Caldir, yeah.
His name.
Hey, look, it was 10 levels ago. 10 levels. 10 levels. That was. Thinking back to it now, that was super depressing because of how he died. Because he didn't die from a dragon attack. Basically, our barbarian, I'm calling him out now, our barbarian went to do a medicine check and crit failed and killed him.
And it was so quickly. Like, it was scary for me as a DM because I never actually killed a player before. I'd never had a player die. And it was sort of, there was that first moral dilemma of, I was like, oh God, I've killed a character. But I immediately think back on myself and think, is it fair that I've killed this character? Is it something I've done? And I was like, no, it was something that happened it was a balanced, well, it was not a fair fight, but it was a balanced fight. And I think that's what led into it. But for those that are interested, it was a dragon fight in its lair. Our monk, Shadow Monk, the monk used his shadow ability to teleport into the dragon, started striking on it, was holding onto it. I think the dragon then used a legendary action to make a tail attack against him. Or he used an attack against him.
I did something, anyway.
Used his tail attack against him, knocked him unconscious. He fell 30 feet into the ground, which was one failed death saving throw. Our barbarian then got a turn, ran over, decided to do a medicine check to try and resuscitate him. I think he rolled a natural one. I think there's some flavour. I was like, oh, you're trying to close him up, but it's not working. That's another failed death saving throw. It was a natural one. He was raging. It made sense. It was sort of like a rule at the time. It's not an official ruling. That was also why I felt kind of bad about it. And then on the third turn, it was his turn, and he failed a death saving throw. So it was 3 failed death saves in about 2 turns, technically, in the dragon's legendary action.
Yeah.
And I remember, I think Steve, our paladin, just gone to the toilet or something. He came back and was like, "What do you mean you're dead?" And it was just like, everyone, it was this slow burn of just dread, and half the table looked sad. Then Steve came back and was like, "What's going on?" And was like, "What?" It was just really
Papa.
just juxtaposed a really sad moment.
It was. I definitely had spell slots left at that point, and I remember I do. And it was just that thought of, I could have helped him, but wasn't able to.
I think you failed your wisdom save against the fear effect, didn't you?
Was I figured?
I think you and our warlock, yeah. I know he was feared. The warlock was feared and couldn't actually enter the cave.
Oh, yeah,
so I
don't
know about you guys. I think you were in. You might have just been there. I'm not sure. And it was made worse by the fact that the dragon they were fighting then proceeded to escape. It was on about 40 hit points. And it killed him, and then ran away. So they didn't even get the satisfaction of avenging him. And he's still out there, and he hasn't come and got him yet. I'm keeping him. Maybe we'll see him in a couple of hours' time. But
I think we will.
It was just a very tense moment. And I think the parties, again, I think they were at that level where you can die and you sort of know you probably aren't going to come back. Now that I've killed the party off many a time, and they sort of, I've probably killed about 3 members of the party since then, and they've come back to life through raised dead or through having means like that. But there is always meant to be that fear of just not being able to come back.
Actually, how many have you killed? So you've killed?
Let's not talk
No, we're going through this. Caldir, Varys, Sebastian.
I'm looking very guilty, by the way. Jarian. Mogar. Last session I killed.
Mogar, you killed.
Last session I brought the barbarian down. And then Jarian again.
And Jarian. So in all, you've killed the party 8 party member at 6 different opportunities.
Yeah, well...
Which ain't bad going.
3 of those were last week. No, 2 of those were last week.
Yeah, 2 of them last week.
It was a very big fight, though. I accept no responsibility for that. But
yeah,
also,
it was, wasn't it? Yeah.
I think there's always that thing of, great, I can come back. But also, there is always the fear that you are gone for good. If they were fighting a Death Knight, had the Death Knight killed one of them, and then scared the others off or been too powerful or got some lucky crits, you probably have to have left them behind and they aren't coming back. Or say someone got hit by a disintegration beam, or or if you couldn't retrieve the body, or they got their head chopped off, or someone took the head, or you guys had to run away. There's always that fear that you can still. I don't like there being a safety net, but I'm always safe. I can just get raised dead or resurrect through resurrection, and you're like,
yeah.
I mean, character loss. It's always something you got to deal with.
Yeah, it is, and it's. You don't realise that until you have to actually do that, and it hits a little bit harder than I think you actually realise.
I think a lot of the party, though, are used to it. I've heard a lot of people talking about their backup characters. I've got this new character planned, and I like that if you've got, I think part of playing the game is being ready to lose your character.
For definite, there is definitely that sense of, if this character goes, I have this character ready, but in that same breath, you're like, I may have a character ready, but I don't know whether I'm ready to lose.
But also, you've had that character for, a year plus now, and it's just
Yeah. Were there any moments when you were playing prior to playing with us that you had similar sort of moments where you were like, oh shit?
I had I think I told you about it a few days ago. I was playing a monk. Tiefling monk. I always play a lot of tieflings. Tiefling monk, and we'd for a series of very unfortunate events, we got ourselves a victim of a hag coven.
Yeah, you did tell me.
These hags had I foolishly, after we beat the first one, I shouted my name and how the hag got bested by Salzahar the Shadow Dancer. The hag then started scrying on me, and then her coven started giving me nightmares every night. And I got to about, I think, every night I'd fail my death saving for a get a nightmare. The DM would say, I'll take a level of exhaustion. And we didn't fix it, and I got to 5 levels of exhaustion before we managed to deal with it. But it was like... But I have lost characters as well, and been quite, not lost characters, I think. Well, a lot of the campaigns I've played have fizzled out before you really lose characters, but I've had moments where I've just been like, oh god, or
Yeah.
you know, I'm trying to think I've lost it. I definitely have lost. I know in one shots I've lost characters. Skarnos died.
Skarnos.
Yeah. I remember what I did to get that name. I went through, if you go in the PHP, I think it's either in there or I took one of the names and changed one of the letters.
Oh, I'm definitely doing that later. I'm definitely having a look through the PHP
I
later.
think it's in there.
That's incredible.
Check now, get your PHP. Pause the podcast.
Right, we are. That's it. So we found out it is actually Scamos. Well, Skarnos isn't in the PHP, but one very, very similar, Scamos,
It's like the second from the end.
is in the PHP. So
So that was where I stole that from. I think a lot of early characters are plagiarised.
I love what has happened within our storyline so far, and it's really fucking cool.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of it is yourself, because although you take from the Rise of Tiamat book and the Hoard of the Dragon Queen,
Mm-hmm.
I feel like different people interpret things or play stuff slightly differently, and what we've had so far has been really fucking cool.
I think a lot of it is taking stuff in the book and being like, that's cool, but it could be better. Like in Rise of Tiamat, there's a section where you have to go meet a bunch of dragons to talk about how they're gonna. It's sort of like Fellowship of the Ring, a lot of Rise of Tiamat. You're going to people being like, will you help us in this war? Just try and get them on your side, like to join your little club. To put it in layman's terms. And in the book, it's like, they have to fly 3 days on the back of an ancient dragon to go meet some other metallic dragons, to talk to them, to then get flying back. And I'm like, that's okay, but it's a bit boring, to just go here, talk to people, great, you did it, come back. So I thought, okay, it's interesting, they're flying on the back of a dragon. That's a cool setting for a combat, I think.
Oh my god, yeah.
And then before they knew it, the party were, 3,000 feet in the air, and then getting attacked by a pair of black dragons that they'd met earlier in the adventure. And it was just an incredibly tense combat, because it would have been an all-right combat because they had a dragon on their side, but because they were in the sky and there was limited flight amongst the party, two people fell out of the sky.
It was, who fell?
Dermot teleported onto one of the dragons, then fell off it.
Oh, yeah.
And then Mogar jumped onto a dragon and then fell off it.
See, Mogar would have been all right, because he'd have hit the floor and then just been like, cool, because he's a zealot barbarian, isn't he? So if you've dropped to 0, then it's okay. But
it was just a very tense moment. And full damage in Rise of Tiamat is full damage in D&D 5th edition. I think it's capped at 20d6. And I remember speaking to someone at the time, and I was like, 20d6 is like, I get they took 20d6 and then a bit more from, like, if you're falling onto sharp rocks or something, you take a bit more probably.
We was falling in grassland.
I think it was just grassland. It wasn't too bad. And I remember talking to someone when I was planning this, and I was like, 20d6, the average of that is probably anywhere from around 60 to 100, like in that sort of margin you'll probably land. That's not going to kill our barbarian. He's got too many hit points. And my friend just leaned in and just whispered to me and went, yeah, but the party don't know that, do they? I think that's what, there was a lot of people that did nearly die in that fight. And, even though no one actually did die and people fell out of the sky. And
who did I catch?
Caught Mogar.
That's it. Yeah, I polymorphed into a giant eagle, then tried to fly down and catch him. And then we dimension doored. I waited until we were about 500 feet from the floor and then dimension doored to the floor.
To sort of mitigate some of it.
To mitigate as much as I could. And we took damage, but not as much as I thought we would.
But stuff like that's a really fun encounter. I was like, that was really fun. That was the first time I really made a lot of stuff up, and I was like, I'm going to do this, it'll be more fun. And it's fun to do. I will say that when we're in combat, I always like it when the combat is a bit more dynamic, when there's something else about the fight. When I ran briefly the start of Curse of Strahd, the party were going down a set of stairs that were under Ravenloft, I think. They were going onto there. And as they were going down these stairs, I had giant spiders come from above them and had swarms of small spiders rising up. And I'd built I'd not built it, my friend Sophie actually had built it. She'd got an old Pringles tin and some foam blocks, and we'd made a set of spiral staircase for the characters to come down. And then
the swarm of spiders had just got blocks to have them rise up as the turns would go on. Mm-hmm. So then it kind of gave the party that sort of like kick of, oh shit, we need to do something about this. We need to figure out some way of dealing with this before,
because
we're gonna get overrun by this.
Yeah,
and things like that, and the same with the dragon fight in the air. It's all that dynamic fighting or like dynamic combat.
Mm-hmm.
It's really cool. I think
the combat isn't always to root the enemy; it's to survive, stop a ritual, keep a door open, escape. As long as there's a secondary objective. I remember right when another character I remember running right at the start of 5th edition, we played a West Marches campaign.
Okay,
which is I don't know where our DM got the idea from. I think it's Matt Coville. I think it's his idea. But essentially, it's the idea that you are some pioneers that have gone to a new town. You've set up a town. And half the adventure is just you're in a town in the middle. Survival's a key thing, so you have to eat food, you go on adventures. Half the, at early levels, half the adventure is getting to the temple. It's literally like, here's a little map and there's hexes, and you have to travel 3 hexes. Each hex is about 6 hours of travel. What are you going to do? Where are you going to camp for the night? Etc. And as you come back, you put gold into this town and you build it up and you can build yourself a home. But I ran a wild magic sorcerer. And I can't remember how exactly, but I remember we found this like crypt. And as we walked in, the DM had the door closed behind us. So already we were tense to do something.
Oh shit.
From what I can gather, there were 4 zombies. We were probably level 1 or level 2. It wasn't exactly a high adventure. But there were 4 zombies in the room that then got up and started attacking us. And right on the far end of the room, there was a red crystal. And it was like early lair action. Essentially, on initiative count 20, it would sort of open up and shoot fire at someone. It didn't do too much damage, but it was just there. No, they shot ice at someone. It was an ice thing. And half this battle was just us trying to work out what the heck to do, because we were early level. None of us really knew what the stat blocks were. We hit a zombie and knocked it down. But we didn't realise. We didn't realise that zombies have an ability that lets them make a saving throw to get back up to 1 hit point. So as a sorcerer, I hit something with a critical hit on my quarterstaff because I was a half orc. So he was a sorcerer, but he also hit stuff. I conked someone out of a natural 20, knocked it down. So and then it got back up, which telegraphed to us as players that we can't kill the zombies. So we tried. And in the end, I think in the end the DM basically knew we had to stop this crystal from going off. And I don't know if he was I don't know how exactly it worked. We firebolted it. It was vulnerable to fire damage. I think in the end we managed to smash it, and then all the zombies dropped dead.
Oh, right.
But we were all like, 2 people had gone down. I was surrounded by zombies just throwing fire at this crystal, and it was such a tense moment. And we were like, "What do we do? What do we do?" And for a split second, you could look around the table. And it was just sheer panic because we didn't have any magical items. We only had a couple first level spells. I think I tried to Ray of Sickness a zombie, which is of course immune to poison. So. But it was just dread.
Yeah,
it's nice to get that in. You can get that in, I think, any tier of play, but as long as you're scaling your damage appropriately, but scaling the encounter.
Yeah,
super fun.
Well, thank you very much for being on today's episode of Just Roll With It.
Thanks for having me. Hope you enjoy. I know you had loads of questions, or you told me what to talk about before, and we ended up talking about.
See, I said to you beforehand, I was like, I kind of want to ask these sorts of questions, and then realised as we was about to sit down, it's like, I've written nothing down. So if you can tell, then good for you, Sarah Lee.
I only spoke about it because you said, when you talk about all your other characters, and I was like, I have a Google Doc with all my character sheets on it, and there's probably only 6 or 7 on there, that I probably have now. But I don't remember any of them. I remember now, coming back on now, we've had this, we've been speaking about an hour now. I think I remember 4 or 5 of them.
Yeah. But yeah, thank you very much for being on.
Thanks for having me.
There might be some more of this. We'll see how it goes.
Bye.